As we mentioned to kick off the show, we were expecting good news today. We are expecting even more good news tomorrow with both Felix Ojo, who was the number one offensive tackle in the country, and John Turntine, who is right out of five-star territory for us, both expected to commit to Texas tomorrow. Yes, you may have heard some doom and gloom, and of course there was always going to be X team is standing out for Felix Ojo on the week of his commitment, and they have a competitive offer. Always going to be this way, but I don't think it'll matter all too much. It's Ohio State this week, that they're considered the number two, and I think anyone that's not Texas is considered the dark horse at this point. There's no they're finishing in second place. Like, Texas has such a phenomenal lead from our perspective, such a large lead over everyone else, that someone else picking up a commitment for Felix Ojo tomorrow would be the shock of the cycle. Texas has, keyed in on him as the number one, tackle target for the better part of 2 years now. He's cemented that, through performances and testing and everything. Yes, there was a camp in no pads where he didn't look so great. We said it on the show last week, not putting a ton of stock in that, and I don't think you should either.
I can't wait till he's a first-round pick in 3 years, and I get to tweet. Well, anyone remember when everyone lost their shit over the fucking shorts and shirts camp in Indianapolis with rivals?
He's not.
Everyone's going to be like, spin zone. Like, man, it's one day.
It's one day, and I think people will honestly forget about it pretty soon. So,
yeah. I saw Anthony Hill get put on his ass in
right. That's what I was going to say. There have been times like this.
One has lowlights,
Yeah.
But yeah, so feel good about Ojo for now. Honestly, feel better about Tarantine. That recruitment has always been more straightforward and I'd say more cut and dry. Tarantine's announcing at 2:15 p.m. Central Time. Ojo's announcing around 1 p.m. Central Time. Both tomorrow. With Ojo, we still think it'll be Texas, but I don't know if it's PTSD from last July 4th or just PTSD from this entire cycle. Getting a little nervous. Now, I have no good reason to get nervous. It's just me talking myself into getting nervous. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, Utah was not supposed to get the kid they did yesterday, Kevin Olbot, whatever it is, from Idaho. But they did. And Utah, or I should say their friends in Utah, BYU, have a lot of money. Utah won that recruitment yesterday because they were playing ball and had the highest offer. Do they do it here? I don't know. I kind of think Texas at this point, they need to win so bad. They need the player at that position and need so bad that they're going to pay whatever and do whatever it takes to get them. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Feel a little bit better about Tarantine, but still expect both those guys in the class as of right now.
And there is one more prospect of note that's committing tomorrow for Texas. It will not be committing to Texas,
no.
Or at least that's what we project at this point. Any chance of Texas, like you say, playing ball and coming back in with a very large offer is probably past due at this point, and that is Caden Finley, the Texas legacy wide receiver out of Aledo, very likely headed to Notre Dame. And I think next week we'll be back on the show to discuss a good amount of kind of where we go at wide receiver, because obviously for the last few weeks and really the better part of the spring and summer, we felt like Caden Finley, might be trending towards Notre Dame. Now with that, likely to be announced tomorrow, as is Jalen Lott, I think on Tuesday, and we don't expect him at Texas either. It'll be time for a little bit of a reset at wide receiver. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Jalen Lott, like you said, announcing July 8th, someone announcing tomorrow who Texas and them haven't talked to each other since like March, but could have an effect on Jalen Lott's recruitment is Booby Feaster, the DeSoto top 247 receiver reclass from 2027 to 2026. He has Bama, LSU, USC, and Texas A&M as his top four. He's down to USC and A&M, though. Both sides, or I should say both staffs, have confidence. I don't know if he's silenced at both schools or what has happened, but both schools have confidence, and most people think it's going to be USC. If it is USC, I talked to someone on the West Coast yesterday who said, hey, if they get Booby on the 4th, they're done at receiver, and they're not going to have room for Lott. They're not taking Lott. Now, me personally, I think that's kind of ridiculous saying no to Jalen Lott to take Booby Feaster. Not that Feaster's a bad player, but even if you do that, like drop someone else. They have if they land Feaster, it'll be their 5th receiver of the cycle that's committed to USC. They have 5 receiver commits, and 2 of those are 3 stars, 3 of them are 4 stars. But if I'm USC, I can't believe that a lot. But anyways, if Feaster goes to USC, Lott's recruitment is getting cut from USC, Oregon, and Texas to just Oregon and Texas. I know what the number is for USC, but that obviously won't matter if Feaster ends up at USC. I don't know what the number is for Oregon, but I assume it's very close to what USC offered and is above 7 figures per year. If Texas wasn't going to pay that for DeCorian Moore, they're not going to pay that for Jalen Lott. I can tell you that right now. But do they get this number higher, put it in the ballpark, and Lott is comfortable with taking a lower number to go to Texas? I'm not sure. We still need to, figure that out. And he's 5 days away from making a decision, so plenty of things can happen. But just thought it was interesting and kind of coaching malpractice by USC to make that. Like, that is ridiculous to me. I love Chad Bowden. He's done a great job. They've done a phenomenal job of getting their money right, getting these players in the building. The game is the game. It doesn't matter if you do it a dirty way. They're getting those players. But, I mean, just a crazy thing in my eyes as someone who's watched both these players extensively for several years that they're taking Booby Feaster over Jalen Lott. I just love Jalen Lott, and you know that, but I don't know. What is USC's quarterback situation? They are starting
Jaden Maivia this year.
Yeah, I almost said Fafita. I always get them mixed up. They're starting Jaden Maivia this year. I believe he's gone after this year. And then Husan Longstreet's supposed to be the man. So that's the plan. And then in 2026, they have this kid named Jonas Williams committed out of Illinois. A really good player, probably going to be like a really good college player, but either a day 3 draft pick or undrafted free agent at best, just based off, height, weight, speed, kind of. It is lazy, but, our scouting guys think he's a 3-star. I think he's a consensus 3-star as well. But, hey, it's hard to stack a good QB class after you sign a 5-star. David Keith Williams said, Jermaine Bishop unquestionably needs to be physically developed a little more. Yeah, no doubt. He's 155 pounds. Coach Jackson needs to teach him the finer points of receiver. I love for Texas to get Lott, Finley, or Booby Feaster, but Bishop could be better than each of them. Let me put it in perspective for y'all just how good Jermaine Bishop is as a wide receiver, because I don't think people realize this. And, yes, they're scared of or they're worried, he's 155 pounds. Dude, Xavier Worthy was 165 pounds at the combine, which means without all those Gatorades and waters that he drank before weigh-in, he probably was somewhere in the 150s. Devontae Smith played his entire high school career in 140s, and I think was also 160-something at the combine. If you're an elite athlete with elite testing metrics, explosive data, all that, like Bishop, Worthy, and Devontae Smith have, you can get by with being that little. And he plays much bigger than his weight and is just a dog. He punches above his weight. But here it is. So he's 77 receptions away from being 15th all-time in career receptions in Texas high school football history. As a sophomore, he had 80 catches. As a junior, he had 83, so he should be able to get top 15 in that. He's also 1,351 receiving yards away from being in the top 10 all-time in career receiving yards in Texas high school football history. He posted 1,414 as a sophomore and 1,565 as a junior, so he should be able to hit that number as a senior. And if he does, he will be one of only 2 players who played at the 6A level to be top 10 all-time career receiving yards. The other players, Jackson Smith and Jigba, who came out of Rockwall, went to Ohio State, and then was the first receiver off the board in the 2023 NFL draft at 20th overall. He's also only 605 receiving yards away from being the Houston area's all-time leader in career receiving yards. And, I know he's 5'10", he's 155 pounds, or 5'11", 155, but you have to overlook those things when prospects are this level of athletes, So I love him. I think he's Texas' best player in the class. I don't think it's close. He's also my favorite prospect in the class, like in terms of play style, what he brings to the table. But I mean, yeah, I don't know if you have anything.
I don't. I give it's hard to say that D Bell's not the best player in this class, but it's to me it's damn close.
Yeah. So yeah, like there you go. Devontae Smith said he was 145. Steven Delgado, you should have hollered at me or at us when we were out there last weekend. I didn't get to see Drift play at all, but I did hear the Cooper Reed, the Arizona State receiver commit, was pretty solid. Trying to think of anything else before we would see on Monday that I can't say on here. Lastly, let me look at some stuff. So, obviously, Tarantine and Ojo are tomorrow. Let me see who might be coming off the board as well.
Don't believe we have anyone else before Tuesday.
Okay, so Finley, I think that's Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Feaster, not that it matters, but probably USC. Tank King is going to A&M. Brock King is going to TCU. Felix Ojo, we expected to be Texas. John Turntine, we expected to be Texas. Zach Turner, SMU is putting Miami and OU in a locker, which is hilarious to me for that prospect of all people, too. Bryce Perry Wright is committing tomorrow. That should be to Clemson or A&M. I'm not sure. It's not going to be.
I believe he's actually committing on Saturday now.
Yeah. Wait, what did I say?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
He's committing on the 5th. Yeah, Saturday.
You are correct, on the 5th. That should be A&M or Clemson. And I mean, yeah, so that should be it. We also think there's a chance Braden Rouse could be popping this weekend, or even Tyler Atkinson. So we have stuff prepped for that, but outside of that, there's nothing we're really doing besides waiting and seeing.
Just waiting.
Now. So